lifting weights and having protein shakes are not helping with your fibroid elimination journey. And I want to tell you why. This is going to be for you. This video is going to be for you if you're trying to avoid to have a repeat surgery, a repeat myomectomy, where they go in and remove the fibroids. You're trying to avoid another one, as fibroids can grow back. This is for you if you're exploring other options. And this is for you if you want to try to address fibroid management naturally. Yes. So share this with a friend that needs to hear this, as up to 80% of women, I feel that that number is even higher these days, will or have uterine fibroids. And up to 40% of women don't even know that they have fibroids brewing on their uterus. And what are fibroids? Let's leave out the medical lingo and let's just keep it simple. They're bumps. They could be very little bumps, very big bumps on the uterus. And they're encapsulated with pretty much toxins and different things that are abnormal that should not be encapsulated there on the uterus. So they are abnormal growths. So if we focus on fibroids being sort of like fake cells and do things, practices that repair our cells, we'll be in a much better place. But for those that don't know me, welcome. My name is Phyllis, and I help women eliminate fibroid pain in less than 30 days without wasting time, energy, and money on ineffective surgeries through my unique holistic program. Yes! So my mission is to help women become a better version of themselves through a unique womb healing practice. And you know what? I believe in the power of our melanin dominant women. Yes. Because if we help our melanin dominant women, we can help everyone else, right? And we got the power, but it's often underestimated, right? And repressed. And that is a reflection of uterine fibroids. That lack, that unawareness, it builds up in our body, right? So it's really time to take our power back and take preventative change. For me, I'm just so passionate about this mission, and I know together we can make a unique, powerful change. So when it comes to, excuse me, when it comes to uterine fibroids, I was diagnosed close to 15 years ago. And there was a time in my life where I picked up bodybuilding. Yes. After the fibroid diagnosis, I was dealing with weight gain, stress, high cholesterol, and at the time I just had a small fibroid, and the doctor told me to just monitor it, right? Just monitor it, no big deal. Even though deep down inside I was like, right? I had a lot of questions going through me, but I was just told to monitor it. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you can relate to just being told to just monitor fibroids. And looking back, that was literally really just telling me just to wait and watch for them to grow. And then I can step in, right? Was that what the doctor was really saying, right? So I was in my late 20s, and my primary doctor stated that I needed to be on high cholesterol medication for the rest of my life. Again, I was dealing with being like 20, 30 pounds overweight. I was going through a lot. So my cholesterol was high. And I refused to be on meds for the rest of my life. So I was in desperate need to get healthy. Yeah. And I joined a gym. I met a bodybuilding coach in passing, right? I was just going out the door and she was like, hey, and, got my attention and said some other things. But she was a trainer to an acquaintance of mine. So I guess I looked familiar and we started having small talk. And then she was like, you should compete. I was like, me compete on stage in a bikini? I was almost insulted. I was like, do you see this? Like, I'm literally uncomfortable coming to the gym, let alone being on stage. And she had a straight face. She was like, no, I'm serious. You should compete. And I was like, you gotta be kidding, right? That's just not for me. That's just not for me. I am struggling with all of this, right? And I just graduated nursing school. I'm dealing with this, that. I just laid it on her with all the excuses of how I can't do anything when it comes to competing on stage, right? So she's like, here's my card. Think about it. I was like, yeah, okay. So I went on my merry way and continued life as normal. I was going to the gym about 3 times a week. And I made minute changes with my diet. In nursing school, I was eating a lot of junk food and fast food. I mean, it was just horrible because I had no time. The energy to cook wasn't even there. I was so concerned about passing the nursing curriculum that there was nothing else I was going to spend any more time on. Only my studies. So my self-care was not there. I mean, I barely got 2-3 hours of sleep. It was horrible. So I was still eating a lot of fast takeout, and I decreased that maybe a little bit. And also, a lot of what I was eating was not nutrient dense. So I wasn't eating enough calories, but I was completely unaware of that back then. So all of that was a reflection of my results because I didn't have any. Like within a month of going to the gym, taking a few things out of my diet, watching what I eat, I lost maybe a pound. Talk about frustration. Drop a 1 if you can resonate with just putting in the work. You think you're putting in so much work and only to get no results, right? So I barely lost a pound, right? And I went into the gym another day and guess who I saw again? The bodybuilding coach. So I thought to myself, oh, Carissy, she can resonate. So I thought to myself, I keep seeing this lady. There's got to be something, a reason why I keep running into this bodybuilding coach, right? So I ended up joining her program. I was like literally desperate at that time. I was getting no results. And I was like, you know what? I need help. I really need help. So I ended up dropping 30 pounds in 3 months. Yes. And I was getting ready for a show as a bikini athlete. Yeah, I ended up deciding to go through it. My confidence grew. It helped me become more disciplined and consistent. And the program I was in was pretty much a competition prep program where I ate like 6 meals a day. Heavy meat consumption. It was like meat and vegetables, chicken and vegetables, meat and vegetables. So there was a lot of meat, right? And I was told that your protein needs to be consumed with animal protein. That's where it needs to be in order to get your body at a point. So that way you can compete, win on stage. So that's what I did. 6 meals a day. Crazy workout schedule. I mean, cardio, I did spin, Pilates. resistance training, barbell lifts, sumo squats, a lot of power movements. Yeah, it was a very strict, intense workout schedule, eating regimen. I did all of that, right? Drop a 2 if you're doing all of that now, something like that, right? You may be on your fibroid elimination journey yourself and you're doing all of those things. Drop a 2, right? Or even close to it. So after my weight transformation and a couple shows in, I was so inspired about my results that I wanted to become a personal trainer. Yes, I felt passionate about helping others with their weight loss transformation. So I pursued that, became a personal trainer, and continued to compete. A few years went by, and I always had this little nudge deep down inside when it came to where I was at physically, but really how I felt emotionally. That didn't change. Physically, I looked different, but emotionally, I felt the same. Like insecure, feeling like my body still wasn't where it needed to be. It wasn't enough. I didn't feel like I was enough. I was giving it enough. I was taking a lot of the criticism and the feedback from the judges to heart. And I always had feelings of self-doubt, but they really became apparent when I was competing. And the fibroid diagnosis kind of crossed my mind every now and then. So I was really carrying a lot of that weight emotionally and pretty much in a low vibrational state. I look good, right, from a physical standpoint, but internally, I didn't really feel so good. And I just kept going. I just regressed those emotions and just held it in and just, continued to just do what I needed to do every day. And after 8 years of competing, that low vibrational energy started to build up where I was like, you know what? I'm out. I no longer want to compete anymore. It no longer was a fun sport. It was just more of a unhealthy environment, and it was becoming very toxic, and I could not get over the subjective feedback that I was getting. Oh, your butt's too big, or you got to work on your abs more, you got to do this, you got to do that. Constantly being judged about how I look. So I was fed up. I was like, I'm done. This is not healthy, right? So I left the bodybuilding industry in 2016, and one of the first things that I did was emotionally eat, right? Because I thought I no longer have to get ready for competition. I can eat what I want. I loved Oreo cookies, brownies, potato chips. I was like devouring all of that, not knowing that, like knowing in the back of my head, I don't have to get ready for a show. Oh my God, I can eat these things. I felt deprived from them for so long because I was always in competition mode. So it was amazing. But it wasn't too long until the weight started to come back again. I started to gain more and more weight, and a lot of the weight kind of lived in my abdomen, right? And after about a few months, I started to look pregnant, right? So I was wearing a lot of the low frequency energy and it continued to fuel the fibroids. Yes. And it started to become a struggle because I went from emotional eating to feeling depressed, down. It was just getting worse and worse emotionally. And I dreadfully went for another ultrasound and found out that that little one fibroid grew into 4 fibroids. Yes, I had 4 fibroids, and the largest was the size of a grapefruit. And I was beyond surprised. I was like, you gotta be kidding. I just was so shocked at how I went from having rock hard abs, tight, small waistline, to not even being 90 days, and the progression of the size of the fibroids, how fast they grew. As the doctor was talking to me, I literally went blank, right? And it was the largest was a pedunculated fibroid, so it was literally sitting on my uterus. And I remember starkly what the doctor said when it came to, you know what, Phyllis, if you just get the surgery, they won't grow back for 5 years. If you just get the fibroid surgery, they won't grow back for 5 years. I was like, why is this happening to me? Like, what happened? Like, how did I get to this point, right? And I just was taken back. I was literally feeling lost in like translation. And his response was, you just have to deal with it. It's very common in Black women. I was like, what? What does that mean? Right? So I decided I wasn't going to allow that to be my fate. And I ended up leaving that doctor's office and I never went back. Yeah. And not too long after that, I really started to go down a deep hole where I wasn't taking care of myself. I was depressed. It was just a lot of things going on. And I was listening to Queen Afua talk about just holism and womb wellness. And I started to really embody her teachings. And I also followed Joe Dispenza. He talked about a lot in regards to the science and spirituality and how those play a huge role in how our body works and functions. And that was my thing. Started to really become immersed in similar teachings like Queen Afua and Joe Dispenza, and making that part of my day. I would get up every day, 2-3 hours listening, writing, and digesting this information. Along with that, I created a womb practice, a womb healing practice, where I was just doing daily stretching just to, you know, stretch my muscles, my ligaments and joints. And I started to do a lot of reflection of the food I was eating before, when I was competing, you know, my upbringing, just a lot of things. I was just like, you know, doing those practices that may have not helped me has gotten me here, right? And I was like, you know what? I need to change. I need to change the way that I've been doing things, the way that I've been conditioned to do things. So, along with the reflection and the journaling, I started to also do exercises that strengthen my pelvic floor. And that practice continued for about almost a year. Feeding my mind, exercising my soul, and my womb. I put it on repeat. And one day I started to just feel so much better. It was better than the day before. And I realized I had passed a fibroid. Yes! I must have went to the toilet and didn't realize what was in there. But later, the ultrasound confirmed the passing of a fibroid, as well as the heavy flow, like that eliminated. I was going 8 days of heavy bleeding, and that went down to 2 days, and now it's just light to moderate. Pain eliminated. Just a lot of the things that came after I was out of the no longer working out consistently. It just it all went away, literally, right? And not only that, but overall, I felt better emotionally. I was very much so in a higher state of mind, and that was just the start, the start of the physical results that I started to see with the fibroids, the passing of one fibroid, and then the shrinking and eliminating of other fibroids down the way, as this is about 5 years ago. Yeah. So the power of this practice was profound. And the reason I tell you this story, the reason I tell you my story, right, is because a lot of times we think or we perceive that working out hard is a way to heal our body. But when it comes to uterine fibroids, that's not the case. That's not the case. It's just not protein shakes and lifting weights, right? It really needs to be taken at a healing level, right? And which is why a more unique, holistic approach is the way to go to keep fibroids and keep fibroids away and get it at the root, right? So, like I said, the womb healing practice was a major game changer. And I know from what I see with many women I deal with and talk to on a daily basis, one of the biggest challenges when it comes to eliminating fibroids is knowing what to eat, what to do, what exercises that are going to provide relief to get rid of the fibroids at the root, the heavy bleeding, the bloating, the headaches. And that is one of the biggest challenges, is knowing what to do. And that's why I created the unique holistic program. So you can learn more about this proven system on how to start your fibroid elimination path, because this may be you, not knowing what to do. You're going to the gym, you've changed your diet, but you're not seeing the results. And you're done with wasting time and energy. You may have gotten an ultrasound and now the fibroids are bigger, right? And you've made all these changes. That is frustrating, right? Very frustrating to know that you've made these changes and you don't see any physical results in the fibroids, only to see them growing, right? So let's not waste any more time. So comment, learn more to get more info on the unique holistic approach and see how it can work for you. I'm going to put my link as well if you're ready to just schedule a chat with me. And on this chat, I would love to learn more about your situation to see how I can help you. Yes, it doesn't hurt to have that time to really share your concerns, your challenges to someone that can relate to you, right? But I hope this gives you some empowerment and just a little bit more background about me when it comes to being a medical professional, as well as a coach and a patient. I've been able to see the dynamic positions in the health care disparities, how you're not heard sometimes when you're telling your truth and you're still not getting your answers that you need, right? I understand how it feels when you do everything right. Diet, exercise, and you still don't see any results. I've been there. but I've been able to learn the ropes and hopefully present it to you in a package for you to follow and get the same unique results, because it's time to take it to the next level. You're ready to take it to the next level. So no more trying to do it on your own, trying to figure it out, wasting time, energy, you don't know what to do, how to do it. Let's talk and let's put a time and a practice together for you that's going to take you to the next level, if you're ready. Yes. So thanks for listening. And again, I hope this gives you some empowerment, and hopefully you got a chance to hear my story and get that background information. Thank you for listening. Bye.